Hello! Happy Homebrew Wednesday! Thanks for tuning in to this Homebrew Wednesday video with myself, Big Q. So, this is my first Homebrew Wednesday video for a couple of weeks now. Didn't do one last week or the week before. The reason for that is because the week before I was away up north doing the Brew Dog brewery visit and making the video, etc. And the week after that, combination of editing those videos, I didn't realise at the time I was going to get enough footage for 6 videos, but that's great, and I've had some really positive feedback on that, so thanks very much for that. And also my monitor for the computer died, so that I had to throw that away, and I've got a temporary one just now that I got from the mother-in-law, thank you very much. Using that just now, just as a stopgap. Got a new one coming soon, so that's great. So, what have I been up to? Well, I've brewed up some beer yesterday. Let's see, I've got it written on an envelope here, what I did. So I'm doing a stout. Now, you'll know from, if you've watched the Brewdog videos, if you've not, then hop over to my channel. You'll get a redirects from sq.com. I'll put a sq.com link or description at the bottom here. Go and have a look at that. I've decided to do an experiment. You maybe have seen my Applejack video where that's where we use freeze concentration or freeze distillation, although technically no distillation's involved. We use that to make a concentrated alcoholic beverage. So in that video I brewed up some cider, some strong cider, froze it, and then drained off the alcohol and some of the water that came with the alcohol, and you get essentially a much stronger drink. It goes from about, say, 8% to about 25%, something like that. And Brewdog, the guys up in Fraserburgh, the brewery I went to, they do a similar thing, but they do it with beer, and they freeze it more than once as well. If I'm doing Applejack, I'll just freeze it once, and then, you know, that's your resulting product. But those guys will freeze it, you know, up to 7 or 8 times. They do a beer called Sink the Bismarck, which is 41% alcohol, and essentially what they do is they take their hardcore IPA and they freeze it up to 8 times, and it just reduces and reduces and reduces until suddenly you've got this here, the 41% alcohol beer. It tastes crazy, it tastes amazing. I had some of that straight out the freezer unit. It wasn't quite at that strength at that time, however it was on the way there, and it was very good, very good. I'd like to thank Stuart Bowman, again the head brewer at Brewdog, and James Watt and Martin Dickey, the 2 head guys up at Brewdog as well. Thank you very much for letting me come up and look around, and I got some free beer from Stuart, that was much appreciated as well, and some glasses, some pint glasses. In fact, I'll show you. Don't know if you can see it. Look, that's one of the pint glasses I got from Brewdog. See, that's the Brewdog symbol there. I've no beer in this one. It's beer for punks. Beer for punks, baby. So I brewed up a beer yesterday, and I'm going to try and do, I'm not going to try and get it as strong as those guys would, but I'm going to do a single freeze concentration on some beer. Not like a whole batch of beer, I'm just going to take 2 litres of it and do a test. So I wanted to get a fairly high gravity beer, so I'm doing a stout. So in my stout I've put in a Cooper's Stout kit, a Cooper's Draft kit. I've got 454 grams of maltose, 500 grams of molasses, 454 grams of dextrose, and 500 grams of caster sugar. And the caster sugar went in purely because I'd put everything else in and I didn't have a high enough OG to hit like an 8% beer that I want to get. So I have found that in the cupboard and I just shoved that in. Right, well, whatever. So as well as that, I've dry hopped it with some pellets, Challenger pellets. Not the best hop necessarily for dry hopping, but it's the only hops I had, so I just used those. And I just put them straight into the fermenter, no muslin bag, nothing like that, just straight in. And I'll cold crash it as best I can to try and let those settle out into the sediment before I rack it to secondary. So we'll see how that goes, that experiment. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, probably something wacky, some crazy name like the guys call it. Their first one was Tactical Nuclear Penguin. Maybe I'll call mine, I don't know, Atomic Duck or something. Yeah. Okay, cheers. 17. See you later.